What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have something really cool that I want to share with you all today. Pretty much everything in the Model Y is automatic, except for the frunk. It just pops open and you manually have to open and close it. Today I have a solution. I will be installing the Hansshow Power Frunk for the Model Y. You can have it automatically open from your app, the center screen, and even have it closed with those methods, along with pressing the emergency latch in the frunk. Hansshow sent me this Power Frunk to show you all how to install it on your Model Y. And they've hooked me up with a really great deal for you all if you're interested in purchasing a Power Frunk kit for your Tesla. If you use the code 30TeslaMat on Hanshow's website, you'll get 30% off their site. And if you use the code 10TeslaMat, you'll get 10% off their Amazon store. I'll have the links in the description for your convenience. If you're watching this video after Black Friday, use the code 15TeslaMat to get 15% off Hanshow's website. The Power Frunk kit costs about $535 for the Model Y, and it's really easy to install in my opinion. And with my coupon code, it brings it down to around $375 on the website. Now that's a really good deal if you ask me. You can also add a kick sensor to make it an even easier process to open your frunk. So today, I'll be showing you guys how to install the Power Frunk for your Model Y, and by the end of this video, you should be able to install it on your own. Alright, here's the box that the Power Frunk kit comes in for your Model Y. It's by Hansshow and their motto is Smart Your Vehicle, and this box has everything you need from beginning to end on how to install the Power Frunk kit by yourself. So right here you just see me opening up the box real quick. I'm just trying to show you guys what comes in the box so you know what to be mindful of. You know, you have the motor, you have the struts, you have a lot of wires, you have bolts, you have nuts, you have screws. And in a second I'll show you guys the tools that you need that it doesn't come with. So here are the instructions, they're colored, they come with pictures. Here are the tools that you need. Real quick, you can just pause them and look at them, and here are the tools that I have laid out. And just real quick, just a quick snapshot here, all the parts laid out, just so you guys get an idea of what you're going to be working with throughout this process. First step is to pop open this little part of the Model Y. It's really simple. You don't need any tools for this part. It just pops open. Just be careful you don't snap anything, so just gently pop it open and try to apply even pressure whenever possible. And once you get to the halfway point, come to this side and just pop it open. It'll come straight off, and just make sure you place it somewhere somewhere safe where you won't step on it or anything. So next step is this part right here, this little emergency latch part. This is where you want that little plastic piece to come in, pry it open. I didn't have a plastic piece, I used to use a metal piece, but I was really gentle with it. So you just want to pop it open, slide it under there, and it'll just come easily off. And you can just lay that down in the frunk, and we'll get to the next step right after this. So now you want to remove this wired piece. You just pinch on each side and just pull it out right there. So I just recommend you leaving this little rectangular panel in the frunk for now, because it's a great place to store it. So now you want to get your tool and open these bolts. There's 4 of them. There's 2 in the front and 2 in the actual frunk itself. So it's a really easy process. You want to just open it up, and I just left the screws back inside the frunk. An easy place to hold them. They're not going to move around, because we're just going to remove the frunk after this. Alright, so once you have that done, you want to get this little plastic popper piece right here. You can just pry it open with a screw, a flathead screw, and it'll just come right off. So now once you have all those screws out of the way, you just want to take this frunk lid out and just place it somewhere safe. And here's the frunk. Before this, I had no idea it was this intricate in the Model Y. So right there, you have obviously the heat pump that they're always talking about, and just all the other parts that make Tesla Tesla. So let's get to it. So you need something really sharp or thin in order to get to the first part of the struts. So I'll show you guys in a second up close. You just want to get that thin piece into the left side of that strut. It's like a little sleeve, it's like a semicircle. You want to put it in there, and it pops open. So like this, when you put it in, it'll just pop open, and you can easily take off the first part of the strut, the top part of the strut, out of the little part of the frunk. And then after that, you guys want to get a wrench, and at the bottom part of the strut, just open this up, and it'll pop right out after you open up the bolt. After that, you want to get this little piece right here. It's make sure you have it labeled R for right, so the passenger side is the right side, and then put a screw in it along with a washer, and you want to get it in that hole that you took use the wrench to take out the previous piece from Tesla. So we're going to put it in right there. Now keep in mind, it is a little bit of a tight area to work with, and just to be on the safe side, I put a sponge right here to ensure if I do drop, the bolt or the washer doesn't go, into the abyss of Tesla, just to be on the safe side. And so you just want to put it in right there, and then easily screw on the bolt right here. It took me a couple of tries because it's a tight area, and once you have it in there, you want to get this strut. Look, this is Hansshow strut. Look how much beefier it is, and how much bigger it is. So what you want to do, you want to twist it so that each of the sides of the holes are on opposite sides, just like the Tesla strut. So you can just look at the previous Tesla strut, and you'll have it in really easily. So now this part is it's easy, but it's a little bit challenging. What you want to do is just pop it in. It requires a little bit of strength, but the problem is there's not too much, room to work with leverage. I don't recommend you jamming in another tool to use as leverage. Just use your hands. It'll take you a couple of tries once you get the feel for how the area is, how what you're feeling for, how much strength it requires. And then you want to do the same thing for the driver's side strut. So, grab that sharp tool, put it in the half sleeve, pop it out, use a wrench to unscrew the bottom half of the Tesla strut, and then put in that little piece and make sure this time it says L on it with a screw and the washer. And then just put in this strut. This part is a little bit even more tricky because there's even less room to work with here on the driver's side. So right here you see me, I'm just opening up the OEM Tesla strut. I'm using a wrench to open up the bolt. And so once you have that done, like I said, it's the same process as the other side, and it's fairly straightforward. So the next step is I recommend you using a Sharpie to line up where the latch system is, because you're going to be removing this latch system and replacing it with a part of Handshow's. By doing this, it'll ensure that when you put it back on, you get it to the right position so your frunk is not crooked or elevated or pressed down too much. And so, you get an idea of where you had it before so you can line it up properly. So you don't spend too much time on the adjusting part of it once you're done. So once you have that, you just want to unscrew it. It's fairly straightforward. Right here you see me. I'm speeding it up because, it's just unscrewing it. And then once you have unscrewed, put those screws somewhere safe. And then you just want to remove this piece, and then, yeah. What you want to do now is grab some pliers and just move this spring piece above this circular part. It's kind of disengage it so you can place Handshow's part with it. So now what you want to do is grab the motorized piece along with Handshow's latch mechanism. So you just want to, it'll fit like a glove. It fits right under it. Make sure you pull this little plastic piece over it as well, and this goes right into that little circular piece. And now what we're doing is doing the opposite of what we just did, bringing that spring mechanism over. So now the Hansshow piece is in place with the Tesla piece. See, this is how you do it. And what you want to do now is grab the emergency latch piece, that's a different wire, and just place it right here on the Hansshow piece in order for it to lock into place. After that, you want to go on the outside of your Tesla and push on the 2 o'clock position, and this opens up the emergency latch housing. Those are the wires that are connected to the battery, and so you just want to fish this emergency latch through this hole. And so this is for, whenever your battery dies or something happens, you always have a manual way of opening the frunk. So you just want to, use some electrical tape to tape it into here, or a zip tie, and you should be good to go. So now I'm using a zip tie here where I put the emergency latch to the latch system so it doesn't move around, and I'm just cutting both of these zip ties just to make it cleaner. So the next step is you want to grab the black screws along with the washer and the spacer and just put them back into where you originally opened up Tesla's screws. It's really simple. Now this is the part where the Sharpie comes in handy. You see where you had marked it, you see where you can align it to. And before we go on to another step, what I want to recommend is bring down the frunk to make sure it lines up properly in the center with the Hansshow part, and so you don't go on too many steps and have to undo too many steps. So you see, it was a little bit to the left side, so what I decided to do is just unscrew it lightly and just move it a little bit to the right side. Obviously it'll be different for everyone, and you just got to see how it lines up with, and obviously later on you can adjust it as you go, just to be on the safe side, to make sure your trunk is flush and everything lines up properly, and yeah. So now the next step is you're going to grab these wires. The first part is to ground one of these wires. I decided to ground it in this little bolt right here. You can ground it in the negative terminal, but it was kind of pushing it because the wire was on a little bit shorter side. So you just want to unscrew this, but not fully, just enough so you can place that little crab hook under it so it fits properly. So it's a ground terminal. Just slide it in right there, and in a second I'll show you guys what the final product would look like. So like that, and then you want to screw it back on so it doesn't move around, and that's your negative. And the next step is right here. You just want to, it's kind of like plug and chug. So you find the corresponding wires and you just plug them into what you already have. And these two that are together right here, you just want to plug them into the struts. Find the ones that fit and then just plug them in. Same thing for the other strut, it's just plug and chug. Make sure you're plugging in the right ones to these struts. And after that, you want to remove this little piece from the latch system and just plug it into Hansshows. And once you have it in, just push in this little red piece and then just plug in the end of it to the latch mechanism. And then the next step is to remove this little piece right here. It's on the near the passenger side, and just plug it into Hansshows piece and then plug in the adapter again into Tesla's, and it'll just lock into place. And then this piece right here is from Tesla, so we're not going to be using it anymore. So I recommend you wrapping it with some electrical tape in order to, just in case to prevent it if the water does get into here and you don't short circuit anything. So just be on the safer side, wrap it some electrical. And this piece right here, you want to pop it open and place in Hansshows piece. It'll just snap right in, and then you'll just close it in. And then you want to finally install the positive terminal. So now this goes without saying, be very careful, make sure your metal pieces don't touch any other metal pieces or you'll have a bad day. And once you have that in place, the positive terminal is in, you just unscrew it, put in that little crab hook into it and just screw it back on. And so there you have it. I basically zip tied a lot of things so they don't move around and they're not at points of high tension. So you just want to be careful of that. I also use the taping side of this to put it on so it doesn't move around, and I kind of push everything under from this little part, and you want to make sure this little piece that I'm holding up, you have it up because that's the emergency release button, and you see everything else is zip tied in, and it doesn't move around, and yeah, pretty much. And I just fish the positive terminal to the right side. And so the next step is to put a frunk back in, but I haven't screwed it in just yet, just in case if I want to make any adjustments. Press this lever in, and then once you have it in, just pop it in, and it'll work, and you can just close the frunk from this method. So now you just see me screwing everything back in. I did go back in and make some minor adjustments, just leveling it, but that's just pretty much self-explanatory on how to do it. So just make sure you guys don't forget to put the screws back on. And then finally, I'm going to putting on this little part right here that we initially put on. It just snaps into place. Make sure you gently snap it in, just be on the safe side, you don't break anything. And there you have it. Here's a Power Frunk real quick. It opens up. and then you can also close it from here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe. And if you want more of these DIY videos, let me know in the comments. Be sure to use my code 30TeslaMatt on Hanshow's website to get 30% off on their entire website, and use 10TeslaMatt to get 10% off their Amazon store. And if you're watching this after Black Friday, use the code 15TeslaMatt on Hanshow's website to get 15% off their entire store.